After a firing for misconduct on a recent shocking episode of Below Deck Down Under and with Hollywood's strike in its fourth month, reality TV powerhouse NBC Universal has found itself under the microscope with its growing reliance on reality shows. A scathing letter from a team of lawyers partnered with Bethenny Frankel directly mentions Bravo and hints at a bombshell lawsuit to come. The controversy with Below Deck's bosun Luke Jones, who was fired after he tried to get into steward Margot Sisson's cabin, completely naked, following a night of drinking, forcing production staff to intervene, has reignited the conversation over reality TV participants' protection.
So there have been many headlines and stories about this reality reckoning that I started, and people are wondering, why is she doing that? Is she biting the hand that feeds her? She had this platform. Isn't this what everybody signs up for? What is she doing? So I'm going to explain to you the full and real story about what I'm doing and why and how it evolved and how we got here today. So mention it all, the reality reckoning. These are the 10 terms that I propose, subject to modification. I did not buy the idiot guide to starting a union in 24 hours, but these are fair. These are ways that talent can understand compensation without having to try to audit a multi-billion-dollar powerful company that hides money in different places and likes to try to pretend that everything equals a show expense, so you never get any of the gross. For unscripted talent with shows that make it to air, the minimum should be $5,000 per episode. Talent should receive a 10% raise each season. If the show is a huge success and ratings have increased, it's subject to negotiation or the talent can walk away. It is, in fact, their real lives. So for networks and streamers to be trapping people, not allowing them to do other things, and forcing them to expose their real lives on reality television is unconscionable. Talent gets 10% of their last negotiated talent fee for additional cycles. That means that if a network has a season and decides to re-air that season, talent gets 10%. If a streamer decides to keep that on, talent gets 10% of their talent fee each additional year. Any additional entities airing that show, i.e. Peacock, will also pay 10% to the talent. On shoot and promotional days, talent gets a per diem $100 a day. Now to retroactive. Starting right now, series talent that has not been paid for shows that have been airing with no compensation should receive $5,000 per season retroactively from each distributor. So I should be paid $5,000 per year from streamers and from networks for shows that have aired after the original season. If they don't want to pay moving forward, the content should be taken down. And the content should not be watched or consumed. It should be boycotted. Talent is not required to give any proceeds of their business to a network or streamer, eradicating the Bethenny clause. These terms are now the new Bethenny clause. Talent should not be prohibited from promoting specific brands on their social media so the networks and streamers can try to garner that income for themselves. Talent shall receive a percentage of proceeds from ancillary merch from the gross. 5% if it's a solo act, 2.5% if it's an ensemble. For other properties, for example, YouTube, which the networks and streamers make a lot of money off of those clips using your name and likeness and talent's intellectual property, talent should receive a percentage of the gross. Now, these are specific but subject to modification, but they're fair.